Joining us now is Edmund Tayao, President and CEO of the Political Economic Elemental Researchers and Strategists, or PEERS, and a professorial lecturer at the San Beda Graduate School of Law. Good morning, Prof. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone.
All right, Prof. 1 year, anniversary ng
Bilis,
arrest ni former President Duterte. Ano nakikita mong very significant developments since then?
Actually, hindi nga mabilis eh. Ang bagal eh.
Ay, nabagalan ka ba?
Dapat, that's what many experts have been saying no, when it comes to ICC. It really takes time for any case to be heard,
yeah, that's right.
and to be concluded. No? So, siguro mabilis na nga yung 1 year. Pero, at the very least, tumakbo na at natapos na tayo dun sa confirmation hearings, and we're just awaiting the decision of the court when it comes to whether or not the case should proceed to trial or not.
Tama ka, Prof. Sabi nila, just to get to the confirmation of charges, 1 year, almost 1 year, no? And given his age, kinakabahan ng mga families ng mga victims, and given the age of former president, how long will the trial take? Diba? And kasi, how old is former president? 80?
81 on March 28, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, alam mo naman, maraming mga magagaling sa atin, ano? So, sabihin na natin maraming mga usi, no?
Yes.
Maraming nagkokomento, at ang sinasabi nila, it would be to, well, especially that the daughter is running for president the earliest in their career, it would be in their interest, no, kung hindi matutuloy yung trial. Kasi pag natuloy yung trial, makikita lahat ng mga ebidensya, no? Meaning, kung hindi matutuloy yung trial, siguro, masamamang sabihin, no, it would be in their interest na hindi na, kumbaga, doon na matuluyan, no? Although that's of course morbid to say,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
not good to say, no? But politically, that will be to their advantage. Yun yung mga nadinig natin from some observers, kasi nakita na natin doon sa depensa ni Kaufman, ano, and even the many lawyers that the party sent there supposedly to help in the defense, hindi naman nila sinagot yung mga ebidensya, hindi naman nila sinagot yung mga accusations, no? They resorted to the same DDS strategy, no? Questioning whether or not ICC has jurisdiction. Second, was this arguing, no, that the process, no, the procedure by which the president was sent to the ICC was illegal, no, and they use the term kidnapping, no. And third, they're asking the ICC why not investigate the current president Marcos, no. So ganun yung ano nila, no, hindi nila sinagot yung mga accusations, no, that were raised, no, by the prosecution. So sa madalit sabi, it would appear really that going through the proceedings of the ICC, it would I would suppose, no, that they really wouldn't want to go to that point where they will have to deal with the evidences that will be presented. In other words, it's not going to their it will not be to their advantage if the public will know the extent of the accusations against the former president.
Siguro we could say it na March 11 ngayon, mabilis siya in terms of araw na nag-anniversary agad, pero mabagal siya in terms of like Actually, yung kabagalan nga ng process ang sinasabi din ng prosecution or yung mga ICC accredited lawyer natin like sila Attorney Christina Conti, ang delay ay because of the defense din because they asked, 'di ba? They asked for the jurisdiction issues, fit to stand trial, etc. Kaya nagkaroon pa ng mga delay dito sa confirmation of charges. But Prof, I would like you to comment dito sa sinabi recently, no? Kanina lamang to few minutes ago ni Representative Paulo Duterte about today. No? March 11 is not just a date, it is a reminder of loyalty repaid with betrayal, of service answered with persecution. Ang kanyang statement today na lumabas, itong si Congressman Paulo Duterte. Your thoughts on that? Medyo malaman yun kasi loyalty repaid with betrayal. Sino yung sinasabihan niya to?
Actually, I would have to respectfully disagree, no, Angela. Walang laman yan kasi, pare-pareho naman sila ng linya no? Ang konsepto nila ng loyalty sa tao, loyalty kay Pangulo, no? Nagagalit sila kapag may mga tao, kasama na ako doon, na appointee dati, no? Kasama nila dati, supposedly, tapos bigla-biglang ngayon kritiko na. Actually, hindi naman kasi yung tao ang batayan natin dito. Tingnan natin yung mga issue. Kung hindi totoo yung mga paratang at nasasagot yung mga issue, edi tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. Ang kaso, ang daming lumalabas kasing mga issue. Alam mo, siguro sabihin na lang natin ito nung tinanong ninyo ako, no, what's the implication of the Vice President declaring early, no, her candidacy for President. Anong sagot ko? Ang sagot ko, finally meron na talagang opportunity for her to answer many issues raised, no, against her and her group, not only against her but her group, no. Number one na diyan yung pagiging pro-China nila. Ito, may komento na naman si magiting nating Senador Robin Padilla. Wag daw sabihing terorista si Ayatollah Khamenei, no? Ang una, hindi ko alam Sunni ba o Shia si Senator Padilla, no? Kasi kung naiintindihan niya yung distinction doon sa dalawa, maintindihan din niya kung bakit hindi magkasundo ang Saudi Arabia, yung iba't ibang bansa na binomba ng Iran, no? So sa madalit sabi, hindi niya babanggitin 'yan. At kaya nabanggit yung China is because China is helping Iran. No less than the US President Trump, no, mentioned that it is China that has been helping Iran. That's why Iran is still able to retaliate. We're not yet saying whether tama dito si Trump o mali si Iran or what. What we're saying is that it's not just a war or a conflict between US, Israel, and Iran on the other side. It would appear that China is again included in that equation, no? So hindi ko maintindihan bakit dedepensahan ng isang Senator Robin Padilla na balik Islam, na kung hindi ako nagkakamali, dapat Sunni siya, dedepensahan niya si Ayatollah Khamenei na for obvious reasons, Shia, sasabihin pa niya, religious leader. The religious leader ng Shia, Muslim yan.
That's right.
Yan Sunni, Muslim. So kung naiintindihan niya, hindi niya gagawin yon. So isa lang ang explanation niyan, no? He's following the line of China. And I mentioned that again because for the nth time, siguro hindi lang 100, no, million, 1,000 times nang tinatanong ang mga Duterte. Ano ba kayo, mga Duterte? Ilang beses nang tinanong ang Vice Presidente pagdating sa WPS. May isang pagkakataon ba na nasagot niya yan? No? Nitong huli, ang daming mga nahuli na patungkol sa mga nahuling mga spiya, no? Pinatotohanan nito ng National Security Council. Ang iniisip pa din nila magkaroon ng hearing doon sa di umano 80 marino, no? Kasama kayo sa nasisisi diyan, by the way. Ang mainstream media daw mga bayaran daw kayo kaya hindi niyo daw kinover yung hindi niyo daw kinover yung kanilang malakasang press conference, ano? So pinipilit pa din
Okay.
nila 'yon, pero itong mga issue na ito, wala kang nadidinig na nag-uumpisa sa imbestigahan natin to, tingnan natin itong extent
Right.
na to, and so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say here now is, if they really are concerned as far as the Filipino people is concerned, no? Siguro mas makikita natin yung mga konkretong pananalita. Lalong-lalo na ito talagang klarong-klarong threat ito sa atin eh. Itong presensya ng China. Kaya pati EDCA kini-question nila, no? And so on and so forth, no? So
Okay.
in other words, hindi na kailangang i-memorize yan, sabi nga nila, no? Obvious na.
Okay.
So in other words, sa kadululuhan, siguro kung makikita natin na sasagutin nila ng derechahan yung mga issue, hindi yung dadaanin nila sa technicality, magsusumbong sa Supreme Court, at itong Supreme Court naman sabihin unconstitutional,
Okay.
no? Paano natin paniniwalaan itong mga tao na ito?
Right. Prof, going back dun po sa, of course, yung sa usapin natin sa ICC, because today nga is the anniversary na naaresto itong si former President Rodrigo Duterte, and President Bongbong Marcos would be, sabi nga nila, forever be known as the president who brought Duterte to the ICC. Given that situation, because ang sinasabi nga, of course, ng mga supporters ng Duterte na di naman namin sinasabing wala siyang kasalanan or whatever, no? Pwede naman daw siyang itry dito sa Pilipinas. So, do you believe that somehow ang Pilipinas at this point cannot really try the case of a former President Rodrigo Duterte here in the Philippines?
Actually, it's not a question, Angela, whether our courts can try the former president. It's a question of circumstances. No, we have to go back in time why it had to reach ICC. Walang pinag-iba yan doon sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. No? Nung mayor pa lang ang dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, marami ang gustong mag-file ng kaso pero takot. Hindi nakapag-file ng kaso sa Davao, at hindi kahit sa Maynila hindi nakapag-file ng kaso. Naging presidente pa. So paano ka makakapag-file ng kaso? Pangulo na nga yan. All the more matatakot ka, no? Kasi kung dati Davao lang yung tokhang na yan, naging nationwide na, no? Yun nga yung lumalabas sa ICC, no? Yung mga organisasyon na binuo sa Davao inilagay sa national level, no?
Yeah.
So pag tinignan mo yung kontekstong yon, that will explain to you why the parties decided to bring the issue to ICC. Kasi hindi sila makapag-file dito. Tingnan ninyo yung date kung kailan final sa ICC yan. Pangulo pa si Pangulong
Right.
Rodrigo
Yes, that's right.
Duterte. Final yan.
2017.
In fact, when the ICC started its investigations, that's the time that when they decided to withdraw from the Rome Statute
Right,
and withdraw from the ICC. And again, explains to you why the ICC retains jurisdiction, because the case have already started.
Yeah.
The investigations already started before we withdrew from the ICC. No? So, again, kaya nga binanggit ko yung sa China dito eh. Kasi doon natin makikita yung consistency ng style nila. Dadaanin ka sa technicality. Yung sinasabi ni Vice President Sara na sasagutin niya lahat yan. May pagkakataon na ba na sinagot? Hindi, wala siyang sinasagot dyan eh. Yung sinasabi niya na hindi pwedeng sagutin yung confidential funds, hindi lang naman ang OVP ang may confidential funds. Mukhang bukod tangi na sila lang ang nagsasabi na hindi dapat i-audit ito. At ulitin natin, kung hindi na kailangang umabot pa sa impeachment, the same thing with the ICC. Kung sinagot na nung una pa lang, no, kung pumayag na at hindi na nila tinakot yung mga tao na mag-file ng kaso in the local courts, it would not have led to a point where people have to resort
Where
to
we
ICC.
are.
That's right.
Same thing dito sa impeachment. If the Vice President already answered, requested for executive session at the House of Representatives to answer the allegations to point by point,
Right.
no, explain the use of the confidential funds, walang ebidensya at wala nang issue na gagamitin pa sa impeachment. Kaso technicality sila lahat. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi, ni isang issue yata na ibinato sa kanila, hindi nila masagot.
That's right.
Kasama na din yung sa flood control dyan. Ang lakas ng loob nilang magsabi na ang mga corrupt ay yung mga nakaupo. Pero hindi nila masagot kung bakit ang lumalabas sa mga investigasyon, nagsimula ito nung panahon pa ng dating Pangulong Duterte.
Puro ano sila, Prof, no? Kung ang style daw nila is deflection. Pero moving forward,
Exactly.
if this goes, yung case ni former President goes to trial, and maglabasan lahat ng, you mentioned it kanina, no? Maglabasan yung testimony, videos, pictures, emotions will run high, accessible sa
There
public.
are hard evidence daw, Angelo.
I know,
There are hard
na hindi pa
evidence.
daw linalabas, Prof, na in general, walang detail. If lumabas ito, Prof, ano ang magiging effect nito sa mga undecided voters ng Duterte bloc leading up to the elections?
Well, the undecided voters remain undecided, I suppose, because they're waiting for anyone or someone who will finally throw his hat in the presidential ring and declare intent to run for office. But that, again, take note, no? Now that we're talking about it now, lahat ng mga nananalong presidente, yung mga huling nagde-declare
Yes.
ng kandidatura, no? So sa madalit sabi, mahaba pa ang panahon para makapag-isip ang mga tao, lalong-lalo na ngayon na deklarado ng talaga, no? Hindi na niya pwedeng sabihin na hindi siya interesadong maging presidente, no? Ang tawag dito talagang nakatutok na ngayon ang atensyon ng mga tao, no? So sa madalit sabi, kapag ka nakita na hindi pala maganda itong track record, no? Ng Duterte administration, then definitely there's no reason for their current numbers to increase. Kasi ina-argue nila sigurado mananalo but again, if you look at the surveys, no, lahatin na natin yung surveys. All the surveys in 2023 was the last point that I remember that the Vice President reached as much as 77 to 80% public approval ratings. No? Pag tinignan mo yung mga survey ngayon, nasa 30% na lang. No? So, natin na mas taas pa sa 30%, hindi yan lumalampas ng 50%. And again, no, we're not yet sure what will still happen in the current today up to the time that when we finally cast our votes.
Alright, sige. As usual, maraming salamat po muli sa inyong oras and of course, insights. Sa susunod po ulit, Professor Ed Montayo. Good morning.
Salamat po.